Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Amanda Peralta.
I'm Greg Lloyd. We appreciate you joining us for WGXA Live on YouTube. It's our top story tonight at 5:30, and we broke that story on our WGXA News app yesterday. A Houston County deputy arrested.
Today, Carlos Stevens went to Houston County Sheriff's Office looking to get more information regarding the arrest and to ask how the deputy is able to have a job despite his DUI.
A Houston County deputy was recently arrested, and now we're coming to the Houston County Sheriff's Office to ask what are their standard protocols for deputies breaking the law. According to the Houston County Sheriff's Office, Bob Durham Jr. was arrested for a DUI after a traffic stop on Russell Parkway in Warner Robins just after 2 a.m. Monday. Captain Clay Chambers confirmed his arrest, adding that Durham was demoted from patrol and reassigned to work in the Houston County Detention Center. Chambers added that after pulling Durham over, another deputy found him to be impaired. I asked for an interview with leadership at the Sheriff's Office about Durham's arrest. I was told the people that could speak were at lunch, so I waited the lunch break out for about 30 minutes before calling the Sheriff's Office looking to speak with one of the captains. I was then told by a staff member that the captain I needed to speak to wasn't in the office at the moment, but the staff member informed me he'd let a captain know. I then waited for another 30 minutes. I was later met by Captain Clay Chambers, who declined to comment, saying that the Sheriff's Office answered our questions through email yesterday. While that's true, we had follow-up questions. Why was he demoted and not terminated? Could he earn his rank back? What is the standard protocol for deputies breaking the law? He still declined to comment, saying the incident was still under investigation. Reporting in Houston County, I'm Carlos Stevens, WGXA News.
Authorities in Dublin tonight are putting the pieces together after an apparent attempted murder-suicide this morning. Dublin police say they were called to the Platform Dublin apartments just before 7 this morning for a woman shot.
When they arrived, the victim told them a man shot her and was still in the apartment. Police used a drone to locate the man inside and saw that he was suffering from what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Both are being treated at a local hospital for their injuries. A Georgia father says he is closing his gun shop because of a spike in mass shootings and gun violence involving children. John Waldman, the owner of Georgia Ballistics Gun Shop, says too many children are getting their hands on guns and he doesn't feel right selling them anymore. He says he just can't sell with a clean conscience some of the firearms being ordered by clients through his store. He hopes closing the shop will be his contribution to doing something about the gun problem. Waldman opened Georgia Ballistics in March 2021. Almost 500,000 guns were sold that year alone in Georgia. It's been a very hot first day of June, and it's definitely feeling like summer.
It certainly is, Amanda. We jumped right into June, right into summer, and we jumped right to meteorologist Ryan Mirando now, who tells us to get used to it.
Greg, Amanda, we're really going to have to deal with the heat and humidity really for the rest of the summer season. This is what it looks like for the past 5 days. We've been on that increasing trend. On Sunday, we were 81 degrees. We've been into now to the mid 80s today. We got up to 85 degrees in Macon. We have been mostly dry. There have been a few pop-up storms right now over areas through Upson County, a little bit of some showers also in Crisp County, south of Cordele right now, but it's really been a beautiful day. A live lookout over Dublin with our Wilson Bryant Heating and Air Skycast Network. A lot of sunshine out there for today. Here's some of those temperatures outside right now. 85 in Macon, 82 in Forsyth, 85 in Sparta, and 82 degrees in Eastman. That area, though, that we are watching in the tropics has now been identified as Tropical Depression 2. So this is something that we're going to continue to watch over the next little while. Currently, winds are max around 35 miles per hour, max gust of 45 miles per hour. I'll tell you everything you need to know on the track of this system, all coming up in your full forecast. Greg, Amanda.
Thanks, Ryan. It's a great time to download that WGXA weather app. Ryan will be back in less than 20 minutes with your 10-day forecast.
Take a drive down Cotton Avenue and you'll see the new community seating space.
You certainly will. Our Brianna Cook is live this evening with the update on the area's transition. Brianna?
What was once a lot with a towering Confederate statue is now a community seating area. The Cotton Avenue Plaza underwent a transformation, creating a new space for the community to come together. Last year, the Confederate statue was moved from Cotton Avenue to the Confederate Cemetery at Rose Hill. The statue was put up in 1879 and originally stood next to the courthouse. It was then moved in 1956 to Cotton Avenue. In 2020, community members were protesting to have the statue removed from downtown. Now with the statue removed, what is left is a new area for citizens to enjoy. Alex Morrison, Director of Planning and Public Spaces in the Urban Authority, says they not only wanted a place for the community, but also for businesses on the street to flourish.
One of our primary concerns at all times is making sure that all of our citizens feel welcomed and invited in our community. And that means bringing new people to our businesses.
Morrison says they also expanded the area to help slow down traffic. The community area includes greenery, tables and chairs for people to enjoy. Tyria Coleman, Macon resident, says she enjoys the comfort the space brings her.
It's just a really comfortable space. I was excited as they were building it, and so I finally got a chance to stop by today and just relax in this cool new space.
Officials say they are hopeful that this new space will bring more people into downtown Macon. Reporting live in Macon, Brianna Cook, WGXA News.
All right, Brianna, thank you for that. The mayor of Macon-Bibb is aiming to lower the millage rate for the next fiscal year as a part of his 2024 budget plan that he proposed earlier this month. It would bring the rate to a historical low. The decrease would mean a home valued at around $150,000 would be worth about $774 in property taxes a year. Now that's a few $100s less than the year before. However, one local homeowner says you may or may not see an actual decrease in your property taxes with home values going up.
Some people are going to be upset because their property taxes have been going up every year. We all know in Macon, for sure, Macon-Bibb, property values have been going up. Houses have been selling for more and more.
If you haven't received your new property value assessment, you should be seeing it soon in the mail. Owners can file a written appeal of the value assessment within 45 days.
New data shows more than 1 in 4 Americans are considered house poor. That's when housing expenses like rent, mortgage, property taxes, utilities take up more than 30% of your monthly income. Big cities like Miami, Los Angeles, and New York City have the most cost-burdened homeowners. Rates had been falling before the pandemic, but soaring inflation erased those gains. The Federal Reserve has signaled it'll pause interest rate hikes after nearly a year of consecutive increases, meaning there may be hope on the horizon.
Well, the month of June is starting off with a political fervor as Republicans are hoping to take back the White House, and they're hitting the campaign trail and hard. The current frontrunner, former President Trump, is suddenly facing plenty of competition.
By the end of next week, there could be 9 or more Republican candidates in all, with more to come. Scott Thuman takes a closer look at what voters say they want.
Make America great again. That's a very simple.
Back at the starting line, former President Trump stumping across Iowa and trying to stomp out his early competition.
Who can believe in an open border? But when I heard DeSantis go out and say, and talk about 8 years, we need 8 years. You don't need 8 years, you need 6 months.
Hello, New Hampshire!
Referring to Governor Ron DeSantis, who is crisscrossing New Hampshire for the first time as a candidate.
You can have a bold vision, enact a bold agenda, and attract people to your candidacy and not repel people.
And relying on his wife, a former TV host, to help burnish his image. But what do Republican voters want? A recent CBS News YouGov poll shows likely GOP voters prefer someone who challenges woke ideas, opposes any gun restrictions, says Trump won in 2020, and makes liberals angry. In many ways, Trump to a T.
We hope everybody understands, like these people, that you can't beat Trump.
Let's just go ahead and make this nomination right here and now.
Yet that hardly means they all want Trump. There are plenty of Republican voters who, like other candidates, say Trump's too controversial, don't like how he deals with opponents, and are concerned over his ongoing legal fights. In other words, 49% of that group say Trump makes them feel exhausted, and that's encouraging others to jump in.
I have devoted my life to this fight, and I'm just getting started.
Let's go! Let's go!
And in the next week, former Vice President Mike Pence and 2016 candidate Chris Christie are expected to announce bids. And current governor of New Hampshire, Chris Sununu, also gearing up for a potential run. In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
2024 Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley says her husband is headed to Africa.
My husband is a combat veteran. He deployed to Afghanistan. We just found out he's getting deployed again.
He serves as a major with the South Carolina Army National Guard. He is expected to deploy to support the U.S. Africa Command. Haley is likely to be deployed through most of his wife's presidential campaign.
As the campaigns heat up for presidential candidates, an advocacy group kicked off its state tour to encourage voters to prepare to vote in the upcoming elections. Pro-Georgia addressed political issues regarding Georgia's voting reform, including bills that prohibit underfunded counties from accepting election funds from outside organizations. The event aims to remind voters that their voice matters.
So this stop on the Go Vote GA tour is about really empowering Macon residents to really tap into that process, realize that we all have a place in it, and no matter who you are, your voice must be heard and your elected officials must be held accountable.
Sweat says their goal is to help more eligible voters register and increase voter turnout at the polls.
In what was a win for the House Speaker, the President, and Wall Street, and the House sidestepped a financial crisis late Wednesday and passed legislation to raise the debt ceiling.
Now it's up to the Senate to do the same, and quick, or else. Caroline Shively has the latest from Washington.
It wasn't all that popular, but the bipartisan deal to suspend the country's borrowing limit until 2025 did get the job done in the House. The legislation sailed through, with majorities in both parties signing off. Overall, more Democrats voted yay. The bill is now off to the Senate with only 4 days to avoid a credit crunch.
Time is a luxury the Senate does not have.
Any holdup could slow down the entire process, like procedural barriers or added debate time or votes on amendments, some sure to come from Republicans like Senator Rand Paul, who wants a vote on even deeper spending cuts.
There's nothing conservative about the Biden-McCarthy plan. It allows unlimited borrowing for 2 years.
While other senators want to use the debt deal to boost defense spending.
We're funding defense below inflation.
But the bill cannot change, or else it would have to go back to the House for yet another vote, and time is running out.
It would almost guarantee default.
Senate leaders want to wrap this up before the weekend to keep Wall Street calm on Monday. But there are objections from conservatives and progressives.
If this bill did what its lead advocates claimed that it did, I'd be thrilled to vote for it, but it doesn't.
It's devastating in terms of fighting climate. It puts in a Mountain Valley pipeline exempt from any environmental law.
The bill must be on the president's desk by Monday or the country risks default. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
We caught up with Georgia Congressman Austin Scott before that crucial vote in the House last night. He blames the tight deadline on the president, saying he waited too long to begin negotiations. We also asked Scott what this debt ceiling bill means specifically for Middle Georgia. He tells us aside from keeping this country's economy functioning, it could help Central Georgia generate revenue.
The good things in the bill that I think are going to impact people in Middle Georgia are the NEPA reforms, where it should be easier to get permitted to do mining, easier to get permitted to do major projects that we need to be doing in this country.
Scott says the debt ceiling limits government spending to 1% a year, something he says will help get the budget line back in order for the country.
The first official day of hurricane season is really heating up as that system that we were watching in the Gulf of Mexico has now been named a tropical depression. Winds right now are 35 miles per hour, max at around 45. This will not be impacting us. This likely will be heading farther south as we get closer into the weekend. Will likely become the first tropical storm of 2023 in the named storm Arlene, but this will not be impacting us, likely will not be impacting Florida as well as this heads south. And the hurricane hunters have gone out and they are beginning to test some of the winds that are out there. They have been noticing winds, just some of them into the tropical storm, but this is a tropical depression underneath of that wind category of being a tropical storm. So not quite to that story yet, but for us, we are going to be staying dry. This will not be impacting us here. Tomorrow, it's going to be a pretty nice day, partly cloudy, the high 88 degrees though. So we are really warming up on the first weekend of June. Lots of sunshine, but it is turning hotter, the high 90 degrees on Saturday, and the same thing on Sunday. We are staying hot. So it's really going to be a pretty hot weekend. The humidity should stay in check though. It's really not going to be a bad weekend, a pretty nice one for the first week of June. So here's the monkey meter showing really how that humidity is for tomorrow and Saturday. We're still into that a bit humid range with dew points, the measure of moisture in the atmosphere into the 60s. Sunday looks to be the better day for the humidity, almost down into that pleasant range, and then it really begins to spike back up into that more of that air you can wear, that more moist humid air mass that we're going to be seeing. So satellite radar showing that we still do have that low pressure that's developing right now in the Gulf of Mexico, but we are staying dry. Just a few fair weather cumulus clouds. We did have a sprinkle or two out there today, but really most of us are dry. We really do need the rain though at this point. Most of us are pretty normal, but there are still some areas in our southern counties in Crisp and Wilcox County that are beginning to get some abnormally dry conditions. So some rain may not be a good thing. Just hopefully it won't come on a weekend. When it does, for tonight though, we're not going to have to deal with any rain. Temperatures should be down into the mid 60s, and then heading into the day tomorrow, we'll get up to a high of 88 degrees. It's really going to be a pretty fantastic Friday for us. The humidity will be on that slight side, but again, it will kind of decrease as we get towards Sunday. So in your 10-day forecast tomorrow, we're still into that muggy category. It's definitely going to be a little bit more humid outside. 88 degrees for the high. We should really be staying mostly dry. Most of the days, rain chances aren't zero, but a lot of us shouldn't be seeing any of the rain. Maybe one or two pop-up storms here as we get throughout the weekend. On Saturday, it's hot with a lot of sunshine, the high 90 degrees. Finally, a day that will actually be above average, and we'll continue that trend right into the later half of the weekend. Hot and humid again on Sunday with a high still of 90 degrees, and we're really going to keep temperatures. We're going to be stuck into this air mass. Not a whole lot is going to be changing. Heading back to work on Monday, humid 88 degrees. Tuesday, more heat sticking around 90 degrees. And look, Wednesday, likely the warmest day so far this year. We haven't hit 91 yet. We've hit one 90-degree day. We'll likely hit the second ones this weekend, but temperatures staying into the low 90s with that continued heat right through next Thursday. So lastly, here's your Harrison's Body Shop Fish and Game forecast. Peaks at 1:20 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Thank you, Ryan. Today marks the beginning of new life for the old Macon Telegraph building in downtown. In its place will be the new Riverside Storage. A grand opening event today was marked the change with a ribbon cutting, and those behind the storage facility call the old building iconic and prestigious.
We definitely see a need for storage downtown because there's all the lofts and downtown, and people living downtown now. There's a lot of need for storage, and this is really first-class storage.
A part of the building will be used for storage. There are future plans to use the remaining vacant parts.
Some special ladies were at the Sports Hall of Fame for a meet and greet today. The 6 title holders representing Middle Georgia and the Miss Georgia and Miss Georgia teen competitions are spending a week in Columbus soon to compete for those titles. The executive director for the Miss Macon Scholarship said she's excited for the community to meet these wonderful young ladies after a year of preparation and promoting their community serve initiatives.
Something that I really want to do, I want my platform that I help raise money for is the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which grants wishes for children with critical illnesses. And one thing I would love to do is grant an entire wish, which raises anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000.
So mine is about volunteering. It's called Compassionate Action Promoting Youth Volunteerism. And my long-term goal is to give teens the opportunity and the knowledge on how to know how to get started in volunteering.
The Miss Georgia and Miss Georgia teen competitions will take place the week of June 14th to the 17th in Columbus. We want to wish all the Middle Georgia ladies the best of luck.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Thigpen, and I'm here today at All About Animals Rescue in Macon-Bibb County. I'm joined again today with Allison and Lisa, and guess who we're going to showcase today? Somebody that's really full of energy.
Hi, this is Missy.
Missy.
Missy's young. She's just growing out of her puppy stage. She's a little bit over 1. She's a great dog, friendly to other people, friendly to other dogs, and everything else. All she needs is a little bit of love, and she'd be calm.
Yes, she needs that TLC. Now, how old is Missy?
Missy's about 1 year old.
1 year old. So that means basically it's still got plenty of energy, will be good with the kids, and fully vetted, ready to go. Any more information about Missy? Because she's such a beautiful
She's
dog.
been to PetSmart and enjoyed all the people there, and she's looking for a forever home. So please get her really excited and come pick her up and give her a perfect life.
She's looking for somebody that can take her to trips to PetSmart. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, if they would like to adopt Missy, how would they go about doing that?
You go on Facebook to All About Animals Rescue in Macon, send a message to one of our wonderful volunteers, and they will get back to you as soon as possible.
All right, let's go ahead and do that today, guys. Let's find Missy a great home. Thank you so much, Allison.
Thank you.
Country music singer Dolly Parton has just been awarded 3 new Guinness World Records. One was for the most studio albums released by a female country singer. According to the Guinness World Records, the 77-year-old singer released a total of 65 albums between 1967 and 2022. She also has the most top 10 slots in the U.S. Top Country Albums chart for a female artist. That's 48 entries in total. Parton also holds the world record for the most time between #1 hits on the U.S. Top Country Albums chart for a female artist, 43 years and 156 days. Her first hit on the chart was on May 14th, 1977. Her most recent entry was on October 17th, 2020.
Way to go, Dolly.
I know.
I love that.
I'm all about the girl power. I'm like, I'm here for this.
It's true. You can't go around throwing the L word very often, but she is legendary.
Legendary.
She
Isn't
really
that the word
is.
that Greg told you not to call me?
No, I don't
he
think
was
so.
calling me an
icon. There's a difference.
And I noticed that
You
in
can
our
say
script
icon.
for the building, they said that the old building is iconic. And,
No,
you know, I'm like, I'm
icon-
going to talk to
but
him
see-
about that later.
See, they had to say old building is iconic. They didn't say building is iconic. They had to add the old because icon
So
does
old
not mean
Greg is
icon.
iconic.
We never said
No.
that. But icon does not mean
Back
old.
to Dolly.
But Dolly is amazing. She's
true.
wonderful.
She's iconic.
It's true.
Yeah.
She really is. I'm
No
glad we
lies
can hash this
detected.
out a little bit. This is good. We hope you'll like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We invite you to join us in a few minutes at 6 on ABC 16.
Have a good night.